Hello, myself Dr. BJD Kalyani, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In this video, I will discuss levels of software testing. This topic is mapped to the course learning outcomes of CO5 and CO6, that is, explain various testing approaches and automation tools, and explain the importance of software maintenance and re-engineering process. In this video, I will discuss what are the various levels of testing and more explanation on basically two levels of testing, that is unit testing and integration testing. So the software testing is the process of checking the quality, the functionality, performance of the software that meets user expectations or the requirements. Tester either interact with the software manually or execute test script to find the bugs. So two alternative methods are there: manual testing and automation testing. This automation testing is generally performed with popular automation testing tools like Selenium, WinRunner, Qtp, Test Director, TestLink, etc. And what are the levels of testing? The testing levels are the procedure for finding the missing areas and avoiding overlapping and repetition between the development life cycle stages. The software testing has a life cycle, software testing life cycle STLC. In this, any overlapping phases are a repetition that can be avoided, and it is majorly used to uncover the missing area of the testing. And the levels of software testing involve the different methodologies which can be used while performing software testing. Basically, there are four levels of testing: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Unit testing is the first level of testing. Here, unit is a smallest part of the code that can be tested is called the unit. So, a smallest piece of the code which cannot be further divided into is generally considered as unit. Unit testing is a testing method used in the software development life cycle to validate that unit of the code, the piece of small code that will behave as intended. The verification is carried out that tested the code to produce the same result every time the test is performed. So, testing the unit against its functionality is generally referred as unit testing. Unit testing comes under white box testing mechanism, which means the program structure is considered in the white box testing. So, it is generally performed by writing the test cases and exercise individual functions, methods, and classes. Unit tests normally written in pseudocode. The general unit test life cycle involves the unit test life cycle starts with check out the code from the repository. The code is developed by the development team. That code is available or not, that must be verified. That is the origin of the unit test life cycle. And if any changes required, those changes can be updated, execute the unit test, and fix defects that are executed through the unit test. So here the test cases are designed which will reflect the expected output, and after the code is executed, the actual output can be received. If expected output and actual output both are same, then the test is pass, otherwise the test is fail. The failed test cases can be recognized as an defects so that the code can be reviewed and modified and check in code into the repository again. So the unit test cases must be concentrated on the designing the test case, executing the test case, and writing the defects in the defect logs and update the code. So the advantage of unit testing is early detection of problems in the development cycle and reduced the cost. Why? Because the repetition and overlapping code must be easily identified so that it reduced the cost, and it is test-driven development and follows a systematic framework for testing the code. More frequent releases enable easier code refactoring. The refactoring majorly implies without disturbing the structure of the unit. A small change that can be performed can optimize the result. So this code refactoring is done in case of unit testing. Defects changes which may break a design contract, reduced uncertainties, documentation of the system behavior. These are the advantages of unit testing. Majorly, 3 unit testing techniques are popular. One is structural unit testing, second one functional unit testing, third one error-based techniques. What is structural unit testing? Is generally covers the statement branch path testing, conditional testing, and expression testing. In case of statement branch and path testing, each and every independent path from the start of the program and end of the program, the flow of independent path can be considered. Not only that, the branch statement, looping structures, conditional structures are considered in case of structural unit testing. So it is a white box testing technique. Maximum code coverage is concentrated in case of unit testing. Next, conditions can also be exercised both on true path of the program as well as the false path of the program. Expressions must be compared the application against different values with the help of regular expressions. In case of functional unit testing, the input domain can be tested, the size and type of the objects, and compares the object to the equivalence classes. The equivalence class must classify the input domain into 2 categories: valid input range and invalid input range. For example, if you consider the voter age 18 years, must be the citizens which that contains the 18 years of age are eligible for the vote. So here the valid range must be greater than or equal to 18 and the invalid range must be 0 to less than 18. So like the input domain must be classified into 2 classes, valid range and invalid range in case of input domain testing. Boundary value analysis is another technique for the functional unit testing. So boundary values analysis majorly concentrate on the boundary or for the range of values. So here these are the test cases are designed to check whether the software correctly respond to input that go beyond the boundary values. So in the loops, the lower limit and upper limit are majorly concentrated and the test cases are designed to uncover the errors at these loop boundaries. Syntax checking, the syntax verification is also done in case of functional unit testing. And equivalence partitioning is a testing technique that divides the input data into data partitions. These are the variety of functional unit testing. The next techniques are error-based techniques. So the fault seeding is the major technique which is used to putting known bugs into the code and testing until they are found. So here faults or bugs are inserted and tests are conducted to verify whether these bugs are identified or not. The next type of technique is mutation technique, changing certain statement in the source code to see if the test code can detect the errors. So, intentionally the source code must be modified and tests are conducted in order to identify the bugs. And historical test data uses historical information from previous test cases, executes to calculate priority of each test case. So these are the error-based techniques in which intentionally the bugs are introduced in the code and whether the design test cases are uncovered, these bugs or not is verified. The example of unit test case, here consider a function, the add function, so which receives the two variables a and b and calculate their sum and return the sum of the two variables. So here we must design the test cases in such a way that void test add 1. So assert dot is equal is used to compare the values of addition of two variables 5, 10, the sum whether it is equal to 15 or not. If it all 15, the test is passed, both are equal, and if both are not equal, the test can be failed. Similar way, more test cases can be used to test the sum or the add function. So here add 500,000, variety of input domain values can be used in the designing of the test cases. So if this sum is equal to 1500, the test can be passed and the first variable can possess the null value, second variable 1000 and whether it is producing correct sum or not. The first variable possesses negative value minus 100 and the second variable is the 100. If they both produce the sum as 0 or not can be verified and both the values can contain the negative values. So variety of input domains, possible input domain values must be replaced for the variables and checking whether the test or unit code is correctly functioning or not. So variety popular unit testing tools that are available in the market are NUnit, JUnit, PHP Unit, Parasoft JTest, EMMA. So these are the popular unit testing tools. The next level of software testing is the integration testing. Integration testing is a type of software testing that assesses how multiple parts of an application work together as a whole. So it is performed after unit testing before the next high level of testing, the system testing. So in between unit testing and system testing, the integration testing must be carried out. So independent modules or units are first tested and if their test is they passed, then they are integrated as a whole and they can be tested. So here the major advantage of integration test is it makes sure that integrated modules work properly as intended. So independently their functionality is tested. When they are integrated according to the software architecture, whether they are function correctly or not, the verification is done in case of integration testing. So defect or errors related to the interface between the modules are uncovered majorly in the integration testing, and the APIs, application program interfaces, and the other third-party tools are verified in the integration testing. It typically covers large volumes of the system, so more efficient testing increases test coverage and improves the reliability of the test. So, integration testing is important. Why? Because it majorly uncovers inconsistent code logic. The logic errors, syntax, and semantic errors are easily identified with the help of integration testing. Shifting the requirements or modifications in the requirement are easily detected. Erroneous data due to parameter passing techniques are correctly working or not is verified in case of integration testing. Third-party services and API integrations are checked. Inadequate exception handling mechanisms can also be verified. External hardware interfaces is the testing on external hardware interfaces is carried out with the integration testing. The example of integration testing, let us assume the Gmail application. So we have to test the functionality testing on the login page. So here we can have variety of functionalities. These are variety of modules: inbox, compose mail, sent item, trash, spam. These independent modules can be tested separately. Then only it is possible to integrate and test the functionality of the application. So in the first scenario, first the login P user and click on the compose mail and performing functionality test on compose module. Now click on send module and check the functionality of send module. So all the modules are tested separately, then they must be integrated to test the functionality of the integrated application. Next, test the spam folder. Each and every module can be tested so that the Gmail application can be tested the functionality while these independent modules are integrated. In case of integration testing, two components plays the major role. They are the stub and driver. The stub and driver are the small piece of the code that help to isolate and test individual part of the system. They generally used to simulate the code of the missing modules during the integration. So stubs simulate the behavior of the software component that a module and a test depends on. Stubs are placeholders or simplified versions of the software modules that help test incomplete or unavailable part of the system. So the missing modules are concentrated here. Drivers simulate the component that depends on the module being tested. Drivers provide input and verifies the output. The major difference between stub and driver are stubs used in the top-down integration, a variety of integration. Drivers are used in bottom-up integration testing. Stubs are basically known as called programs and used in top-down integration. But drivers are referred as calling program and are used in bottom-up integration testing. Stubs are similar to the modules of the software that are under development process. But while the drivers are used to invoke or load the component that needed to be tested. What are the types of the integration testing? Integration testing majorly classified into incremental integration testing, non-incremental integration testing. Incremental integration testing is again classified into top-down integration testing, bottom-up integration testing, and the combination of which is generally referred as sandwich integration testing. What is incremental integration testing? In the incremental approach, modules are added in an ascending order, one by one or according to the need. The selected modules must logically related, and generally two or more modules are added and tested to determine correctness of the functions. In this type of testing, there is a strong relationship between the dependent modules. So the process continues until the successful testing of the all modules. So the integration testing, all the modules can be added in the ascending order or according to the need. Consider the Flipkart application. There the modules here are added in an ascending order. So the Flipkart application, open the browser, login, home page, searching, adding cart, payment, logout. Each and every module is added according to the customer need in the ascending order. This is the example of incremental integration testing. So incremental integration testing again divided into top-down integration testing and bottom-up integration testing. The top-down testing strategy deals with the process in which high-level modules are tested with low-level modules until the successful completion of the testing of all the modules. So major design flaws can be detected and fixed early because critical modules tested first. In this type method, modules are added incrementally one by one to check the data flow in the same order. So consider an example for the top-down integration testing. So here these are the modules to be integrated during stage 1 of the integration. M11, module 11 and module 9, module 10 are integrated. In the stage 2, module 9 and 10 are integrated with the module 11. Next, in the stage 3, 8 is considered and is integrated to this architecture. Next stage, next level of the modules M6, M7 are considered. So in this way, the top-down integration adds the modules in an ascending order. The advantage of top-down approach is fault localization is easier, test product is extremely consistent, the steps are written in lesser time to compare to drivers. So here, the steps and drivers must replace the small piece of code to simulate the missing functionality of the module to be integrated. So critical modules are tested on priority. Major design flaws are detected as early as possible. The next type of integration testing is bottom-up integration. In the bottom-up approach, starts with testing the lowest units of the application and then gradually moving up one by one. So here testing takes place from the bottom of the control flow to the upwards. So again it's possible that higher level modules might not have been developed by the time lower modules are tested. So drivers can be useful at this type of scenarios. So consider the example of bottom-up integration. So stage 1, the lower level modules are first considered. So M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, they are independently developed. And these in the second stage, these modules, the lowest level modules, can be integrated with the highest level module M8 in the stage 2. Next stage of integration, this structure, this integration is integrated to M9 and M10 modules. So in this, the data flow is carried out from lowest level module to the highest level module. If any missing module is there, the drivers must be used in the case of those missing modules. The advantage of this bottom-up approach is here the development and testing can be done together so that product will be efficient. Test conditions are much easy to create. The combination of top-down integration and bottom-up integration is referred as sandwich integration testing. So the system is used as 3 layers in case of sandwich integration. Main target layer in the middle, another layer above the target level, and the last layer below the target layer. So the top-down approach is used on the layer from the top to the middle layer, and bottom-up approach is used on the layer from the bottom to the middle. So Big Bang approach is useful for modules in this middle. So this is the example of sandwich integration. So here this is the middle layer. The middle layer to the top portion, the top-down approach is used for the integration, and middle layer to the bottom-up approach is used for integration. The advantage of this integration is both the techniques top-down and bottom-up are used, which can be performed parallel one after the other. Very useful for large enterprises and huge projects, complex projects with several sub-components or sub-projects. Another variety of integration testing is non-incremental integration testing. So in this non-incremental integration testing is suitable where the data flow is very complex and it is difficult to find the data flow, who is the parent module, which is the child module, cannot be understood. In that scenarios, the non-incremental integration testing can be useful. Consider these module flow. We cannot predict which one is the module, parent module, which one is the child module. So in these scenarios, the non-incremental integration testing is used. So here, create the data in any module bank on all other existing modules. Check if the data is present. Hence, it is also known as Big Bang method. The Big Bang integration testing is the software testing strategy that involves waiting until all parts of the software system are completed before starting to test it. So all modules must be developed and tested, verified and integrated. Then only the Big Bang integration testing can be performed. So consider here variety of modules A to F are there. Those are independently tested, and these modules completed and are integrated, then only the testing strategy is commences. This approach is typically used when the individual components of the system are not able to be tested separately. When this is not feasible to test them separately due to the resource constraints. So the Big Bang integration testing reveals the defects in case of sharing of the global variables and purely documented interfaces, weak encapsulations, different error handling or exception handling methods. Those errors are covered with the help of Big Bang integration. The advantage of Big Bang integration is simplest form of integration testing. Bugs are easily identified. Only one stage of testing can be done. Suitable for small projects. Save resources. Uncover hidden dependencies. Variety of testing tools, integration testing tools are available. Popular tools are Hypertest, Catalan, Postman, Selenium, Citrus, LDRA, Protector, Jasmine, TestNG. And in this video, I discussed about the levels of testing, majorly focus on the unit testing and integration testing. What are the types and testing techniques with examples. And the references that are used in this video are these. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.